Hello and welcome to this demo video for the purchase price comparison spreadsheet. So what does this do? Well, it's kind of like a price comparison website, except it's more transparent, and you can actually see exactly what's going on as far as the prices from each supplier, that type of thing. It doesn't compare different options. It only compares like-for-like options between similar suppliers. So let me show you how this particular one works. First of all, you've got space for 10 suppliers that you can put in here. I've just labeled them supplier 1 through to supplier 10, but you can put in different supplier names. Don't put in any duplicates. Make sure they're all unique. You'll see a little green tick there if they are. If there's a cross, you've done something wrong. Change it. And also here you're able to select whether or not you want to include that in the prices that are on throughout the spreadsheet. There's a link for the demo video, and if you want to watch on YouTube and so on and so forth. Your business name should be in there. If you purchase this, if you're using the free download, you can insert your business name in there. That's the setup page. Once that's ready, we move on to the product database. So what does the product database do? Well, that allows you to list all of your products down the left-hand side. I've just put product item 1, 2, so on and so forth. You can go all the way down to 1,000. But what you need to do here is put the full description. So in other words, if you read at the top here, it'll explain to you. If you're buying something in a half kilogram packet or whatever, you put down half kilogram. If you've got the options of half kilogram or a kilogram, make 2 items, one with a half kilogram, one with a kilogram. The reason being is because all these prices need to be like for like. It's no good having a kilogram packet of whatever it is you're buying for supplier 1 and a half kilogram for supplier 2, because the prices aren't going to marry up. So you need to make sure that the items are listed as detailed as possible so that you know exactly what it is that you're purchasing, and you've got the exact like-for-like price. So the next thing that you can do on your price list is put in the price for each supplier. So I've just put in random numbers throughout here, but you can put in the price per supplier, and obviously including or excluding VAT depending on what you selected. If you don't have a particular price, if supplier 2 doesn't have a price for that product, just leave it blank. You can just leave anyone blank where they don't have a price, and the computer will ignore them as an option and take the next cheapest one. So from that point of view, you put as much detail in as possible. Your product, list your products down the rows, and then each supplier put in the price for that relevant product. So we're comparing apples with apples. That's the first thing and the most important. And actually filling in this form can show you a lot, because already you can see what the price is on. You can see what's happening per supplier. So already even just doing this exercise is usually quite useful. Then we can move on to the next one. This is where the spreadsheet starts to do what it's supposed to do. All you do here is select your required products. So if you click on the drop-down list, you see it's got a list of all of your product items that you've got on the other page. So all you need to do is select the product that you want. You can go down to 100, I think 100 lines. So you can select the products that you want and then put in the quantities of how many you want of each of them. And what the spreadsheet will already do down here is your recommended supply. It will pull out all your suppliers that it recommends to buy each of those products. So this would be your cheapest supplier to purchase each of these products. And it says supplier used as a default. It's got your supplier used, and then it's got the line price. So how many? What would the cost be for 5 of product item 3? And the answer is £50. And then it shows you that it's on the list, and you've got 0 missing. So if you came here for argument's sake and you actually said, well, product number 19, I don't want to buy it from supplier number 6 because I promised supplier number 1 I'm going to buy it from them. Maybe you get a free pen if you buy it. Maybe their quality is better. Maybe they deliver faster. Whatever the case might be, you can then override it. So now you see your cheapest one is supplier 6, but your used one is supplier 1. And let's say, for argument's sake, for this product over here, you said you don't want to use supplier number 3. You want to use supplier number 8 because you're getting some other stuff from them as well. So you want to make sure. So you can override various ones down here as you wish. If you don't want to override it, just leave it blank and it'll take the cheapest one. So now, once you've got your shopping list together of all the products that you want to buy, these 2 reports are all automatically generated. and this is the comparison report. So first of all, it shows you all the prices. It shows you up to 12 prices, and I'll show you what those mean. And then it ranks them in order. So option 1 would be your cheapest, and then 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So what are these options? The first option here is your custom list. That is based on what you've entered. So because you've got these supplier overrides, that custom list is based on your preferred suppliers when you want them. When you don't have a preferred supplier, it takes the cheapest supplier. So this is probably the one that you're going to go for. More than likely, that's what you're aiming to go for. But I've put these other ones in just so that you can see the comparison. And if one of them aren't too bad, you might want to go for them. And I'll show you why. This is the cheapest option. This ignores what you've said as an override, and it literally takes the cheapest price per item and says that is the cheapest option. So you can see if you hover your mouse over 777 and 732, you may actually say, well, no, I'm prepared to spend the extra money to get the ones from the suppliers I want, and that's it. If this is a lot cheaper, you might go, oh, forget it, I'll just get everything at the cheapest place. Or you can go back to your custom list and actually change some of the supplies to narrow it down a bit more. These 10 are all from your different suppliers. So what this is saying is if I buy all of the products from supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3, supplier 4, that's what the price will be. So your shopping list complete. If I said, forget it, I'm not going to shop around, I'm just going to one supplier, you can see which one here would be the cheapest option. So supplier 8 would actually be, it looks like the cheapest option throughout. If you select one of these, it ignores your override options. It just takes everything from that supplier. If a specific supplier doesn't have an item that's on the list, that list then goes across to the other to the cheapest supplier for that particular item. So that's how these prices are calculated. So they are all like for like. If the supplier is missing some, what you can do is you can then scroll down. You can see this option is 20 of the 20 required items. This option is 20 of the 20 required items. And they've all got 20 of 20. But if, for argument's sake, this supply number 1 didn't have one of the items, it would say the supply has 19 of the 20 required items, just so that you can see exactly what you're comparing. But the price that it has will still include that item from the cheapest place. So even though the supplier may only have half of the items, the price is still for all the items because it's taken the rest of the prices from the cheapest alternative supplier. So you won't have an issue where one of these prices is halfway down, is half the price because there's only half the items. The price will always represent all the items, as many as possible from that supplier, and the rest from the cheapest alternative. Once you've had a look through this and you've really decided exactly what it is that you want, you can then go make your selections to which option you want. Now, as I said, it's probably going to be your custom list. It may be the cheapest option. On the odd chance that it is completely in one supplier, you can select it. If you select cheapest option for argument's sake, it reds out all the other ones. It shows you that's the one you've gone for. And when you go back to this list, it says, please note that your supplier overrides have been ignored. So it's ignored those and it's taken the cheapest option and it's ready. If you go to your comparison report and say, no, I don't want the cheapest option, I want the suppliers I've selected, and you say custom list, it'll show your custom list has been taken. The rest have all read out. And when you go back, that's gone because it is taking your supply override into consideration. And once you've made your selection, these will change accordingly, so to show exactly which supplier you're using for each product. And then the last step, which is one that is quite helpful to use, if you come to the last page, you can select any one of your suppliers. Let's go for supplier 8, and it'll populate it with the items that you need to buy from supplier 8. So this is essentially a purchase order for supply number 8. So you can save this as a PDF. So once you've done, you can go through all your different suppliers, selecting one at a time. And as you select one at a time, it'll pull up any items for that supplier so that you can break down your whole order into supplier purchase orders so that you know exactly what it is you need to order from whom. Now you may have your own purchase orders and you might need to fill this in again, but at least it lays it out nicely and shows exactly what you need to order for each person. If you come back here and say, well, let's see what I need to order from supplier number 1, it will give a list of the items from supplier 1. So go through all of them, make sure you get all the different suppliers, go through each and every one. If they're blank ones, obviously leave them out, but the rest of them go through and you can see exactly what you need to order for everyone. And once you've got those all printed off, you will have it at that price, and you'll make sure that you've covered everything on this list. And this one on the list here is only if you've selected an item and it doesn't have someone to purchase it from. So if you've said, for argument's sake, I want that from supplier 8, and you've said you want to go for yours and supplier 8 doesn't actually have that, you'll show who it is. This is just a double check to show. It'll put in someone else, the cheapest option here. But if you've got something, for argument's sake, where none of the suppliers have it, it will show you here as you don't actually have that item. So if there are any red crosses on here, it'll show you up here. That'll just indicate that you don't actually have that item for whatever you've specified, and you need to make some changes in order to get hold of that item. But that should be very rare circumstances that you should have that. And I think that's all that I need to explain for this product. I hope that makes sense. If this is something that you want, please do have a look at. Obviously, if you purchased this product already, then great, thank you very much. If it's something you'd like to get, do have a look at purchasing it. If this product works, but it doesn't quite work for you, because I know some people do different kinds of purchasing. They want different breakdowns. They want to compare different products that aren't necessarily like for like with different options, that kind of thing. If you've got a bespoke ordering process and this doesn't quite cover it, please do get in touch, and I'd love to have a look at making a custom option for you. So thank you very much, and all the best with your business. Thank you. Bye bye.